Hello?
Sugar Rashad Evans, welcome to Alchemist Radio with Brian Levick and Mitch Ciccarelli. What's going on tonight?
Oh, not much, man. Just relaxing right now. How about you?
Not much. Just talking to the former light heavyweight champion, the guy that's looking to get back on top, and it's our pleasure to have you on the show. And it's been quite an experience watching you compete in the UFC. We started the show off actually talking about how it seems like just yesterday you were winning the Ultimate Fighter Season 2, and now tomorrow we start Season 18. Have you had time to reflect on that at all?
Oh, man, it's the craziest thing because it's like I really, really haven't had the time to sit back and reflect on everything that has happened in my career as far as how far I've come and how far the sport has come along. To me, it's like one of the craziest things even now just to see that on Season 18. I coached Season 10. I was on Season 2. You know what I'm saying? So that becomes the craziest part to me, and they just keep on feet. It keeps being a great streamline for athletic talent. It shows a great recruiting device, and as well as a great educational system to inform the users and show the users about what mixed martial arts is about. So it continues to be successful, and it's crazy to think that after 18 or 17 seasons that it's still going on like that, because you don't see many reality shows go on this long. You don't even see MTV Road Rules going on like this. You know what I'm saying? And this has been a long stint.
No, not at all. Before we get into what you got going on and everything, I wanted to get your quick reaction. I know it's been a while since it was announced, but because you two are kind of linked, with Forrest Griffin, he was the Season 1 winner. You're the Season 2 winner. He won the light heavyweight championship. You defeated it for him. You took it from him. What are your thoughts on his retirement and what he meant to the sport in the UFC?
Well, I'm happy for him that he's retired and he quit the sport before the sport quit him, because that is the hardest thing as an athlete, is when to know and walk away from the applause, when to know to, call it a career. And I'm happy that he did that, and what he's meant to the sport, he pretty much meant everything, because for the longest time I was just trying to follow his footsteps. I couldn't be the guy who didn't live up to Forrest Griffin's expectations.
Yeah.
And coming from what I did, as far as like feeling like Dana White didn't like me, the UFC really didn't want me in the organization. Coming from that mindset, I was like, man, I got to at least put the Forrest expectations. And what him and Stephen Bonner did that night of the Ultimate Fighter finale really made the sport what it is today. And those two guys, and Forrest, they're very instrumental, because not only did Forrest show that it is a good show and good to watch, but he also showed that the champions who win the show actually have substance. We're just not like we're not a bunch of people who did a reality show and we really suck in their life. We actually had substance, and he was the first fighter to really define that.
Now, Rashad, I want to ask you real quick. I know your brother serves in the Army.
Hello?
Are you there? Can you hear me? Hello?
Hello? You hear me?
Can you hear me, Rashad?
Hello? Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, you hear me?
Loud and clear? I can hear you. So I was going to ask
you. Hello, you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I thought we were like in a Geico commercial for a second. Like, can you hear me
No,
now?
that's Verizon.
Can you hear me now?
That's Verizon.
Exactly.
Same thing, But wanted to ask you, Rashad. I know your brother serves in the Army. I myself serve in the Air Force. Want to ask, how's he doing and how's everything going with him?
He's doing pretty good. He had a couple injuries that he had to heal up from. He had, a couple surgeries on his shoulders and his knees, kind of rehabilitate himself after coming back. But he's doing good. He's getting back into the swing of life, and it's a hard transition. You're taught one thing, and you're taught one thing for survival, and then you come back, the world is totally different than the last time you remember. So then you're trying to find yourself in a position where you got to learn how to live again. And that's what he's been doing, but he's making a really good transition.
Well, I'm glad to hear he's doing well. I'm definitely glad to hear that. And you're coming off that win over Dan Henderson. It was a great fight. Got that decision win, and now it looks like another Team Quest guy is trying to call you out. That Chael Sonnen on Twitter.
Yeah.
He's coming after you, and want to get your thoughts on that potential fight.
Well, the fight's gonna happen, and Chael is somebody that me and him are friends, and if I can name off my top 5 guys that I actually say are really good people inside and outside the cage, he'd be definitely at the top of that list. So with that said, it's gonna be a difficult fight just because of the fact that I do value him and I do like him as a person and we have that relationship. But at the same time, it's a fight, and it's going to be something that the fans want to see. Because one thing that UFC has done more than anything in the last few years, the fact that they've been making a matchup that people want to see. And that's all you want to see is with any organization, the fact that they're making the fights that people want to see happen. And, Chael, him and I decided to be a fight that people want to see happen. And, it's a fight that I'm excited for.
Now, is this going to happen at 167? Has it been confirmed, or are you still negotiating?
We're still talking about it, but it's definitely something that the UFC wants, and it's definitely something that we definitely we want to do as well too. So if it does happen, it's going to happen November 16th.
Oh, that's we were just talking about that because we had Rory McDonald on last week, and you got him and Robbie Lawler fighting that night too, and that would make for a great co-main event. But here you got the former light heavyweight champion. You got a guy in Chael Sonnen who's a former 2-time middleweight title contender, a former light heavyweight title contender, as well as probably one of the best promoters. You're no slouch in that area either. So do you feel that is going to get the co-main event slot?
You hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
You went out. Yeah, I hear you. You kind of went out on me for a second.
Yeah, I was just asking you if your fight with Chael is going to be in the co-main event slot.
Yeah, hopefully it will be in the co-main event spot. It'll be. I think it's definitely co-main event worthy, a co-main event worthy fight. But no matter where it falls, honestly speaking, whether it be co-main event or whatever it falls on the card, it's not about ego for me. About have to be this fight, or whatever. It's going to be a fight that people want to see.
Yes.
That's the most important thing. So, the thing sometimes that a lot of people getting caught in ego and like it has to be this main event or this. It don't matter to me, man. It really doesn't matter to me.
And will you find it tough to work alongside him at Fox while you're preparing to fight him?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to work with him alongside the Fox.
Okay.
As long as I got to fight him,
No more
I'm not
shoes.
going to do that because that's just him.
What was that?
No, I mean, because here it is, man. I mean, it's a fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you have to be able to bring that out. You have to be able to harness that fight, and you can't harness that fight if you're palling around with them. There's no palling around,
Yep.
A fight has got to be a fight. It's got to be strictly business. It's got to be like, look, I like you as a person. You my brother. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you need, anything, you call me. I don't care when. But we got to fight, And during that time, I don't want to know you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to hear how I want to smash you. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting my mind ready to be that ass. And that's what the mindset's got to be.
Oh, man. I love it. That's awesome.
That was great. Just the emphasis on beat that ass.
Yes, I'm telling you, that's what it's got to be. If it's not that, then it's gonna be a fight. It's not gonna be a great fight.
Yeah.
I want to have some great fights, man. I want to have some really, really good fights, man. I don't know how long I'm gonna keep fighting. I love fighting, but who knows when it's gonna be the end for me, And I always say this, my next fight is potentially my last fight because you never know how things can happen. You never know what happens when you get into the cage and you come out of the cage, and you never know what you're left to deal with. You never know what you're gonna left to deal with when you go into a training session.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta say, man, the hell with it, man. I gotta go out there and just own it. I gotta go out there and just do it. I gotta go out there and just scrap.
Well, speaking of beating ass and guys whose asses you beat, I want to talk to you about two guys who you faced before and beaten. That's going to be Tito Ortiz and Rampage Jackson. You know, they got this fight coming up in Bellator, on pay-per-view. First time Bellator's going on pay-per-view. Want to get your thoughts on that fight and what they're doing with Bellator.
It's going to be an interesting fight, you know what I'm saying? Because, Tito and Rampage, they both, in my opinion, kind of seem to left the emotional part of fighting a long time ago. Not saying that they're not great fighters, but there's a component that makes a fighter at a certain level as far as, like, he's ready to go out there and put in some serious work. And that's an emotional component. He's got to be emotionally tied to it. And those guys seem to have left that part a while ago. But that does not mean they're not going to have a great fight. You know what I'm saying? This may be the fight to push them back on their own level, because here's the reality of the situation. Not a lot of fans know what goes on behind the scenes. Not a lot of fans know the kind of stuff that makes fighters not really care about fighting anymore. And I think both of those guys have experienced that. And I don't know exactly to what extent, but I'm sure they both experienced that because in the fight game, that's what happens. So if they go out there and they find that flame, they find that spark, it's going to be a great fight.
Now, I want to ask you real quick because we also had Tyron Woodley on before, and I completely forgot about this. I just remembered, but he had a message for you. He wanted me to tell you that he's got a. What did he say, Brian? Something about he's got a
more manly
beard
or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
He does not have a man. You know what? He got to get his beard. He got to get his beard colored in. He didn't tell you that, did he? Yeah, when you go to photo shoots, you got to get his beard colored in. It's not full yet.
Oh, man.
It's not full yet. It's not full yet. Yeah, you got to get it colored in and make it darker. I'm like, T. Wood, you don't got to do that. But why T. Wood try to look like me? Why does he try to look like me? Seriously. He looks, I look at, I'm like, damn, T. Wood, why you trying to look like me, man? T. Wood is the biggest biter. Make sure he bite my whole style. Let him go.
That is hilarious.
He says that he said that you guys get called out because you look a lot alike, and so.
Man, we look a lot alike. We look a lot, but his eyes are like my eyes when I'm smiling. His eyes like that all the time. His eyes are always like that.
Yeah,
he got Asian eyes all the time. He got Asian eyes all the time.
Asian eyes.
Asian eyes. I only got Asian eyes when I smile. He got Asian eyes all day, every day.
Oh, man, all day, every day, twice on Sunday. Holy shit.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I wanted to bring up.
So what were you gonna say?
One of the guys that we love having on. He's one of our favorite guests. Is a teammate of yours, Tyrone Spong, and he's just a great guy, a fabulous guy, funny as hell, and he had the fight against Angel DeAndre, came away with a decision victory. You two seem to be very close. How far do you see him be able to go in MMA? Do you feel he needs to concentrate 100% on MMA? And if he does so, can he go to the top?
I believe he's a talented enough athlete where he's able to just, do exactly what he's doing. That's boxing. He's going to start doing some boxing and doing kickboxing and MMA. But the thing is that he just, beforehand, he just had to really, really make sure that he's entrenched in just one sport at that time. Tyrone, he's such a special athlete. Like, this kid really can do anything. I swear, if you put a football in his hands, he'd be like Barry Sanders. I'm telling you, he just got that athleticism to him. There's not too much he can't do. So with all that said, I think it's a sport that he can do well and he can excel in. But when it comes time for an MMA fight, he really, really has to do that and just focus on that.
And how about some of your other guys at the Blackzilians? Anybody that we should keep our eye on? Any young up and coming guys?
Man, we got this guy. His name is Duto. He's got crazy Duto Innocent.
Duto Innocente or
Innocente. Yeah, Duto Innocente.
Yeah, he fought Virgil Zwicker, I think.
Oh my gosh! Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, that guy is amazing. You want to see somebody who's got potential and skill to really, really shake up the heavyweight division and have that all quality. Like, did he just do that? I'm telling you, this kid has that factor because he has these legs that you wouldn't expect. Like, he throws kicks that you would not even expect a heavyweight to throw. You know, and on top of that, he's athletic and he's got some rhythm too. He got rhythm with it too, so it's really hard for you to catch on to his beat. But he's one of the up and coming guys. Another guy is Yuri Villafort. Yuri Villafort is fighting tomorrow in Brazil, so he's another good guy. But we have our team is deep with talent, man. Really deep with talent. Sean Soriano fighting in CFA. You know, he's another really good guy at 145. You know, you just keep breeding them of them. And that's what happens because in order for the good guys to get good, we have to train with these young up-and-coming killers who want to really take our spot. You know, want to really, you know, they see us getting a shine, they see us getting success, and like, man, I want that. You know, those guys are going to be the guys that make you hungry. Those are going to be guys because they're coming hungry to whoop you every day. Every day. And some days they may get you. You know, but those are the guys you want in your in your training room because that's what a fight is. I don't care what the guy is ranked when he comes in there or what you're ranked when you go in there. It doesn't matter because that guy has one intention, and that is to separate you from your consciousness. That's it. You know, but you need a training partner who has the exact same mentality.
Man, I tell you what, with a name like Duto, that scares the shit out of me. You know, I'd be walking down the street,
man.
But hey, I'd be like, who's that big motherfucker right there? I'd be like, that's Duto. Oh shit, I don't want none of that. Ain't got time for that.
Yeah.
He put a beating on.
What's that?
He put a beating on Virgil Zwicker on one of the last Strike Force cards, and it was amazing. I was just surprised at how Zwicker was able to stand up. He put a beating on that guy. I couldn't get over it.
And you know what? He really, Guto would have been one of those, like he could have did 205 and now it's at 205, but the problem is, and the reason why he wasn't able to put that stamp on him was because of the fact that he got gassed a little bit, and part of that was because he cut so much weight to be at 205. But now he's to the point where it's like, listen, I'm going to get bigger, I'm going to get stronger, and I'm going to bring something to the heavyweight division that they don't have a lot of, and that's quickness. That's great footwork. And that's the ability to close a distance so fast.
Now, I also want to ask, because you work with a lot of beasts, you know, at the Blackzilians. We mentioned a couple of them, but there's one coach who we've had him on before. It's Kenny Monday. You know, how much of a game changer has he been for the camp, you know, since he's come in?
Kenny's been really good coming to the camp. You know, he's one of those guys that he brings that mentality, that wrestling mentality. You know, and his mentality for wrestling is like, we got to get it every day. We got to get it. You know, and that's what really that thought process needs to be harnessed in a fighter, because after a while you train and you do the same thing over and over again, it gets monotonous. It gets boring, and you need somebody to let you know, to remind you, listen, this is what it is. We got to get it every day. And him coming, bringing that same mentality that the wrestlers do. Because, listen, to be honest, wrestlers overtrain. They overtrain, but guess what? The mentality that comes along with the overtraining is like, you know what? I don't care if I'm overtrained. No matter what, I'm better than you. I'm going to beat you. I'm going to do the same move. I'm going to tell you I'm going to do it, and I'm still going to take you down with it. You know, because they train that. They do it over and over again, a lot of repetitions, a lot of drilling over and over again, and that's what he brings to the team.
John, John. I was thinking of John Chainberg. Because I just had a text from John Chainberg, and also Jeff Aronson. That's what I wanted to bring up. Jeff wanted to say thank you for coming on, and he sends you his regards. And you know, we appreciate you coming on. One last question I have for you is, you know, you get a win over Chael. It's going to put you right back up there, you know, in the top 2 or 3. You know, if not for a title shot. You got a big the UFC light heavyweight title fight is coming up at the end of September. Gustafsson and Jon Jones. How do you see that fight shaking out?
I see Jon Jones getting this fight, and I'm going to tell you why. Because Gustafsson learned how to fight, as far as being a tall person, by watching Jon Jones. And I say that because there's a remarkable difference between Gustafsson when he fought Phil Davis and then the Gustafsson now. He's actually learned how to use his range. He still doesn't quite use it right on the defense,
meaning the fact that when Jon Jones is exiting out on the defense, he does like usually a half circle and in a pose that looks like the Heisman, you know. So you're really only hitting his arms, and you're not really hitting his body. And that's one thing that Gustafsson lacks still in his game. He lacks that Heisman pose on the defense to get away from the trouble. And you know, sometimes Gustafsson, he fights the wrong game depending on the guy that he's fighting. You know, like for instance, when he fought Shogun, he fought such a close, scruff, you know, inside dirty fight. But his fight all day was long and rangy. Shogun's gonna, you know, stalk you, stomp, and he's gonna come with his attack, and it's gonna be a straightforward attack. There's no east to west movement at all. It's all north and south. You know what I'm saying? So he's gonna come with that north attack, and he wasn't able to get out of the way to keep it where he wanted to be at, so he can keep him rangy. Instead, he made it like a grimy, ugly fight, and he didn't need to do that. And that's something that Jon Jones wouldn't have done. That's something that Jon Jones didn't do. So I say all that to say this. Jon Jones is going to be able to be better at being tall. Jon Jones is going to be able to be better at being a better athlete. Jon Jones is going to be able to be better at doing the takedowns, doing all the things that Gustafsson tries to do. He's going to be better at, and he's going to win.
All right, Rashad, you know, we really appreciate you coming on. It's been an honor talking to you. This is the second time I've interviewed you, and it's been a great interview. I mean, just your sense of humor and all the stuff with Chael and the stuff with Tyron Woodley. We appreciate your time, and we wish you the best of luck, you and Chael going at it at 167. If there's anybody you'd like to thank or anything you'd like to say, the floor is yours. And once again, thank you for coming on.
First of all, I'd like to thank my management team, you know, Glenn Robinson and, you know, Authentic Sports Management. Thank you for everything. Jocko Clothing, thank you. F3 Nutrition, thank you. And my teammates, the Blackzilians. Without them, you know, I wouldn't be, you know, where I am right now, because those guys, they rescued this lonely soul. They rescued this lonely soul a long time ago, and I owe them a lot.
Oh, man.
So thank those guys.
That's awesome. Well, we appreciate the time tonight, Rashad. It's been an honor talking to you, and we hope you have a great night.
All right, thank you too, man. Thanks for the interview.
All right, have a great night, Rashad.
Bye.